From one plush collector to another, here are my tips. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name is Lizzie and I'm a Disney plush collector from the UK. So happy Friday, I hope you've all had a good week. I'm probably still at work when this video goes up, so I'm hoping that I will have a relaxing weekend to recover from it. But I'm here with my next tips from a plush collector video. So this is a series I started earlier this year and I did intend to do one every month. I just didn't get time in June because we had like Donald's birthday, we had Stitch Attack snacks obviously, we had the Pride plushes, and obviously I saw Taylor Swift in June, so I had a lot going on in June and it just meant that this video got pushed back to July. But to be fair, I am starting to run out of ideas to keep it going monthly, so if there is anything that you need tips on, please drop it in the comments and I'll see if I can do a video on it. But today's topic is one that I'm actually not the most qualified to give tips on, and it's downsizing your plush collection. So this is something that we all have to do at one point. I try and do it fairly regularly just to make sure that the things I'm holding on to are things I really like. Now this is probably easier for me to do than other people because I've had 2 house moves since I started this YouTube channel, so I've had to kind of reflect on what I've got and what I'm taking with me and whether it still serves me joy. I've done videos on this in the past. I did a Marie Kondo of my plush collection, and people who don't know me, i.e. trolls, liked to say, well, you didn't get rid of much, but that's the point. If you're only getting rid of the things that don't spark joy anymore, I can't imagine you'll get rid of loads unless you're really going through a hard time and nothing is bringing you joy. And I did get rid of quite a few things, and since then I have got better at it, so I thought I would give you my tips from a plush collector. So like I said, I have moved twice in the 6 years since I've had this YouTube channel, but since I was 13 I've actually moved 4 times, so I have had to do this more than you think. And basically when it comes to packing, as I'm packing I'll be like, do I really want to keep this? Mainly because I want to pack less, so if I can get rid of some of it that will really help. But I've always struggled with plush because plush is my first love. Things like Funko Pops and pins I can get rid of easier, I can say goodbye to easier, but I just really struggle with my plush. So my first tip would be to take stock of everything you have. This may sound like a stupid question, but do you have any duplicates? You would think you wouldn't, but I've found duplicates in my own collection, mainly with my Squishmallows, because when I first started collecting them I just got any one I could find, and then when my parents were out they would get me any one they could find, and it did mean that I think I had 2 that I had twice. So that was a simple fix. I just resold them on VINTED because I'd had them too long to be able to return them to the store. And I think this is more of a problem for people that can't display everything, because my Squishmallows when I first started collecting them were going into a bin tidy and I couldn't see which ones I had and I couldn't remember. So I like to keep pictures on my phone now of my collections so that I can just quickly check that I'm not rebuying something. And like I mentioned, are there any that don't spark joy? This was a big one with my Squishmallows because when I first started collecting them, I loved them. I would get every single one that there was. And then it got to the point where I couldn't find room for any of them. Even putting them in bin tidies, I had no more room for bin tidies, and they'd bought out Disney ones by this point, and I just lost Eddie, so I decided to keep all of the dogs and all of the Disney, and I sold the rest on VINTED under retail, under what I paid for them. But even so, I made about £500 doing that, which I never got to see because I spent it all on Disney plush. I just kept it in my account, which you shouldn't do. Always withdraw your VINTED balance or else you'll end up spending it like I did. My next tip for downsizing kind of leads on from that. If you're not sure about something, if you're looking at it and you think it sparks joy but you're not sure you need to keep it, I would suggest keeping it and coming back in a few months and seeing. I used to do this thing where I would pack my plush away, and if 6 months later I hadn't missed them, then I would get rid of them. But it's always easier to do with non-Disney plushes, and the only non-Disney plushes I have now really are sentimental ones like graduation bears that I was bought when I was born, that kind of thing. I don't have that many non-Disney plushes now apart from my Squishmallows and my Jellycats. But I always think it's better to keep it and get rid of it again in the future, then get rid of it and regret it, because I went through a spree on Vinted last year where I bought a lot of plushes that I regretted getting rid of, and that just wasn't helpful because, as you know, I'm not a massive fan of buying secondhand because I've had some bad experiences where they come smelling of cigarette smoke and stuff. So I would rather just hold on to my plushes that little bit longer if I'm not sure. And then my next tip for if you have found some things that you're going to downsize is to use sites like VINTED and eBay to sell them to other collectors. Now, I don't like it when people overinflate the price because it's rare. I don't believe that plushes go up that much in value. I really don't. I just try and recoup some of the cost. So for example, when I sold my Squishmallows, I sold them all for £5, even though I knew that I'd paid £7 to £9, because people are never going to pay the full price you paid, with the exclusion of if people do believe that they're rare. But honestly, I just don't. And like I say, when you sell them, get the balance withdrawn, because you will just buy more plush if you leave that in your account. I made the mistake. I could have been £500 richer from purging all of my Squishmallows. Don't get me wrong, I didn't get rid of all of them. I've still got all of my dogs, and if you haven't seen my Squishmallow dogs collection, I will leave a card up above. And I've also got things like my ducks, got an axolotl, I've got some food ones. I have got quite a lot of Squishmallows still. I just don't have as many as I used to have. But I have also done this with my Disney plush, so don't think that I've only done it with non-Disney. I've got lots of boxes in the spare room that have plush in that I rotate on the plush sofa. All that sorting gave me a few to list on VINTED, so let's get cracking with that. And I do this thing where I have like a 1-in, 1-out system. So the Disney store got this beautiful Japan Nana plush that I really wanted, and I knew I already had a Nana, so I sold my Nana on VINTED before I got the Disney store Nana. So I have like a 1-in, 1-out system. I did the same with a Baymax. I wanted a Baymax, I already had a Baymax, so I got rid of the Baymax that I didn't really like and then got the Baymax that I did like. So I try and do that. If I bought a plush just because I like the character, but then when the plush comes I don't really like that plush, I will replace it with a plush of that character I prefer and then get rid of that one. So a 1-in, 1-out system works as well. But as you can see, I don't usually do the 1-in, 1-out system. I buy whatever I want and I make sure that I am happy with what I have. So like I said, I'm not exactly the best person to talk to you about downsizing my plush, but as I've done it a few times in the past, I thought I would give you my most helpful tips from it. But like I said, if you can think of anything else that you would like me to give you tips on, please let me know down in the comments, because I really am running out of ideas. I think my last idea is to do one about bringing plush back from holidays and things, using vacuum bags and maximising space in your suitcase and stuff, but I'm actually terrible at that, and I don't like filming that part of the holiday because I get super stressed. So I'm not actually sure I'm going to be able to do it on a holiday. I might have to do it at home in like a simulated environment. That is it from me. I really hope you found this video helpful. Please give it a big thumbs up if you did, and again, comment below ideas for future videos for me. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you on Tuesday for another video. Bye friends!